The year was 2024. A young Vivian Rose sat on her university dorm bed, calling her best friend long distance on the telephone. The two companions had been longtime collaborators on story writing, art, and hobbying, but for a while they'd felt the compulsion to create something truly collaborative. And over the span of approximately 4 hours, a concept was concocted, something to share with the world, something to combine their unique talents, something they could both be excited about.
And something we had no idea would take 2 years to produce. Hi, my name is Vivian Rose. I am an animation student, artist, and historical enthusiast, and I am one of the 2 writers and artists on Cut the Painter. Cut the Painter is an original webcomic that takes place in the swamplands of Georgia in the year 1919. It is a romance, horror, mystery, which follows a wallpaper hanger named Emilio Altobel and Elvira Manchineel, the lonely daughter who lives in the mansion he is working for. My best friend Syd and I have been working on this project for about 2 years now. But as the title of this video alludes, we only have 1 finished episode to show for it. And I know 2 years sounds like an extremely long time to take for a single episode of webcomic, but it has not been from lack of effort. The truth is, we haven't just made 1 episode. Well, technically it is just 1 episode, but so much has gone into this story that stretches far beyond the first 30-odd panels. All of which is the result of pre-production. Pre-production is the stage in a creative project where you conceptualize, you scriptwrite, try out concepts, and experiment. And this project has been nothing if not a massive experiment. In fact, there are already portions of a stop-motion short film in development. But I digress. Allow me to show you what we have been working on for the past 2 years. Despite my rather vague description of Cut the Painter, the story is dripping with complex history, plot, and exposition. Unfortunately, heavy background information often expresses itself in the form of chunky blocks of text, paragraphs, and wordy dialogue. While some comics benefit from this format, Sydney very early on noted the pitfalls of word-based storytelling in a comic, and an emphasis on visual storytelling was stressed. I cannot express how such a small idea changed the way I thought of this story. With the amount of lore we need to communicate to the reader, we had to push ourselves to convey as much as we could through intentional visuals. I credit this rule with the reason as to why so much time has been put into pre-production. Characters are one of the first things we put down on paper. After all, these are the vessels we are telling the story through. And while I wouldn't say I struggle with writing characters, my visual character design can be a bit lacking. Luckily, Sydney absolutely shines in this department. She doesn't restrain herself to conventionally attractive features. In fact, she's always been so clever and intentional with what really makes a character look like themselves. There's also such a playful and cartoonish quality to her art that I can't explain it. Her concepts feel alive to me. Not only did her designs jot down existing qualities, but looking at these inspired new plot ideas and decisions on who these people would be. The grandmother, for example, was initially going to be an insignificant, likely senile old woman, but that face? Instantly, the household dynamic shifted around this monarch. I won't go into too much detail in this video about character design, but a lot of our time went into their visual development. Each of their features and builds says something about the type of person they are, or the world they're a part of. Abner's angular face and brooding eyes, Henrietta's youthful complexion aged by sleepy eye bags and a sullen disposition, her daughter's bright, curious expressions and gorgeous strawberry curls. Each character's look expresses important parts of who they are without speech bubbles, and it is something Sydney has always been marvelous at. Beyond their appearances, all of these characters, especially the Manchineels, have individual motifs, colors, symbols, and even architectural designs that intertwine with their characters. Depending on what is showcased in a scene, a background, a moment, you get clues into how each of these characters is impacting the story and each other. The house itself has its own library of visual cues to subconsciously inform the audience on what it is feeling. And on that note, I think it's time I mention the character I am lead designer on. Even though I had practically no prior experience in backgrounds and almost zero knowledge of interior design, perspective, architecture, I volunteered to be in charge of interior backgrounds. Sydney is a wizard with color, and her line art is so whimsical, so naturally she was in charge of color and character line art. So far, all I was doing was character roughs and mock-ups. I knew it would balance things out if I took on the mansion. Still, I really threw myself in the deep end. I could have blurred the backgrounds, simplified a lot more, but I just kept finding myself getting more and more detailed. And after over 220 hours, 220. This is not even including concept art or prop design or wallpaper design or the days I spent in the library studying architectural style. Anyways, I would like to say I'm pretty proud of myself and how far I've come. For reference, these are a few of the backgrounds for our test panels made just a month into the project. And this is one of my favorite backgrounds for episode 1. Granted, it looks so good because it's been colored by Sydney. Having the story centered around a single family and a single house has given me such a good place to share the lore of this family, their history, their influences, and every little piece of furniture and every knick-knack and textile, even down to the little handkerchief keeping the piano from scratching the hardwood. I love this cursed mansion with every fiber of my being, and I cannot be more excited for others to get to explore it room by room. Additionally to designing the house and the characters, we've been doing concept art, playing with visual storytelling, making playlists, mood boards, Pinterest boards, timelines, style tests, color maps, short stories. Did I mention there's no script? In order to keep ourselves open to new ideas and to avoid marrying a little picture idea which might not work out in the end, we've agreed not to write down any concrete script. While we have the main story beats, we know the conclusion, and we have a few steps along the way mapped out, we have no set dialogue, no roadmap, just an X marks the spot and a couple of landmarks. We are truly only one episode ahead of our viewers, and it is honestly the thing that keeps us going. Episode 1 didn't even have set dialogue until we had finished every panel. There will always be more to brainstorm, more to work out, more brilliant ideas to be had. Sydney and I are full-time students with jobs, laundry, and finals to focus on. But having a story still blossoming keeps us coming back in our moments free. And hopefully, with some luck, it'll be something we don't have to squeeze in on the weekends, though that's looking far down the line. I could touch on so many other things we have done for this story, or go into more detail on certain aspects, but I think this video is a good start. I can't promise this comic will be the best thing you've ever seen, that it's posted consistently, or that it'll live up to your expectations. After all, this is a passion project conjured up by college students. But I can promise that this comic has been done with passion. There is at least one brilliant, creative, and incredibly talented artist involved who I hold in the highest respect. And I, for one, am so excited to see the first fruits of our work.